And again, here we are, Tuesday, November 11th, 2025. It is indeed Veterans Day. Thank you to everyone who served this country, really sacrificing their lives for our freedom, really. I mean, it's Veterans Day. I'm hoping that every veteran out there has a nice day today. I'm hoping everyone has a nice day today, especially those veterans. And hopefully, if you are a veteran, you're taking advantage of all those deals at different restaurants, different businesses around East Idaho that are potentially giving out Veterans Day specials. I'm sure there's plenty of them out there. If you want to get a hold of me, you can over at 208-535-1015. You can. What was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah, my YouTube video that I uploaded yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, I had some extra time, and I said, you know what? Let me react to the new Michael Jackson biopic trailer, teaser, whatever it's called. I believe it is only a grand teaser. It wasn't actually the official trailer. It was just like, hey, we're about to... Wait, teasers are weird. Teasers are, hey, we're about to... Well, will they release a trailer for the new Michael Jackson biopic? Because all it said was coming soon. Didn't say an exact date, nothing. It just said coming soon. So maybe the trailer's coming soon. Maybe the whole movie is coming soon. Yeah, I uploaded that to our YouTube, KBear101 RMG, my reaction to the teaser, which everyone in the comments had to correct me when I said trailer. They're like, hey, it's a teaser, dude. Stupid. You know how YouTube comments are. KBear101 RMG. Make sure to subscribe to us so you can see dumb videos like that. You can also see my interviews, which I'm hoping that potentially this week, both my interviews with Set It Off and Autumn Keens will be available on our YouTube. Again, I'll say it for a third time, KBear101 RMG. Peach's Pit Party. We'll be back here in just a few on KBear101. Maybe I'm just not paying attention, but I haven't seen any Black Friday deals popping up. I was looking at this survey from this one particular Who Cares company, found that Black Friday shoppers plan to spend an average of $300 on themselves and not necessarily for other people. And it's like, well... As you should. If you see a good deal, might as well buy it. But all the great deals, I mean, there are great deals year-round. Black Friday, I mean, we could dive deep into this whole thing and talk about how, they mass-produce all of these TVs. Black Friday is not necessarily the best time to buy a TV because they make so many TVs that some of them might be faulty, just because all the big places around the country, Walmart, Best Buy, you name it, a place that sells TVs, more than likely they're going to be doing a Black Friday deal on TVs, and they're going to be wildly reduced. That's like one of the few things that has gotten cheaper as time has gone on. TVs. You see how cheap those big TVs are? You can get a 98-incher for not that much money. But then also you got to think about this. You got to think about you need a giant TV stand to hold the giant TV. You can't just wall mount the 98-inch TV, can you? I'm never going to try to wall mount anything. Me, with trying to do anything like that, the TV's going to fall off the wall, and I'll be out of a whole bunch of money. I'll have to hire someone to help me with that or something. I don't know. But I'm good with my 55-inch TV for now. I can't imagine 98 inches in my living room like that. Black Friday, I haven't seen any of the deals popping up. I think Walmart might be doing something, but there's nothing really special about Black Friday anymore. I did post it on our K-Bear Facebook page, I should say, about how, what was it? Like, I miss when Black Friday, when people were in full WWE mode at Walmart over a Paula Deen pot set at 7 a.m. You go to YouTube, you see some of those fights. You can even just watch Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger and see exactly what I'm talking about. I think there was a few people that were like, there was one person who's like, you mean when people would get trampled because no one knows how to act like a reasonable human? Hey, if you get trampled, you didn't stand your ground, right? That's what I think. Captain Zach, who works in retail, one of our loyal listeners, Black Friday is a nightmare. I believe it. If you're like me and you don't like most Thanksgiving food, like yesterday we talked about the ambrosia salad, which apparently Victor likes. I was talking to him about it this morning, and ambrosia just seems like, I don't know, just seems like somebody put that together and said, yeah, that'll be my dish to the Thanksgiving feast, and somehow that took off. Ambrosia salad. That's one of the worst What else is there? Honestly, Thanksgiving feels like it's a whole bunch of just stoner food, you know? Sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top. Sure, bring it to the table. Then you have the giant turkey that you have to prepare all day. And then you go to somebody's house. That guy who's hosting claims he makes the best turkey you've ever had. And then you try it and it's still the same turkey. It's not good at all. You're just like, it's turkey. How great can you make turkey? The reason why I'm talking about this still is I was reading about how Jell-O is celebrating its 125th anniversary. They're turning some of the most polarizing Thanksgiving sides into gelatin desserts. Get ready for the Brussels sprouts, cranberry sauce, and pecan pie Jell-O molds. Is pecan pie really that polarizing? I think it's delicious. I think that's one of the better Thanksgiving dishes you could make. The limited edition No Thanks Thanksgiving molds are available at Walmart starting today. Each $5 kit includes a silicone mold and a box of Jell-O mix. Sure, I'll celebrate Thanksgiving with Jell-O. Why not? All right, I've been running back and forth between the K-Bear studio and our printer because tomorrow I'm hoping that we can do a funny video to post on all of our social media pages at K-Bear 101 FM. I came up with this idea because Chantel from Wake Up Class in 97 with Josh and Chantel, she walked by the Cannonball studio, I think it was last Thursday maybe, and she goes, hey, our son is going to see Sugabog's something. And I was like, huh? Did you cast a spell on me? Are you trying to do some sort of chant? What are you saying? And then it clicked in my head, oh, you mean Sanguisugabog. Of course, we play them on Jank's show. We play one of their big tracks, Fiending for Bloodshed, on Jank's show, Sanguisugabog, who has one of the hardest logos to read. Apparently, yeah, their son flew to Denver, Colorado, and went and saw Sanguisugabog. Hung out with the band, too, which is awesome. Oh, good for you, to Beck. But I gave me this idea to print out the hardest metal band logos to read and have them try to decipher what those bands are. I found this one page that had the 8 hardest to read metal band logos ever, or something along the lines of that. I'm not going to go too crazy with it. I know there's that one with the extremely long name that looks like a tumbleweed. I'm not doing that one. I'm trying to make it fair somewhat. Like there's a super easy one in here. I shouldn't say super easy. It's an easier one. All the others are quite difficult. I had to write down exactly what they are again because I can't even read them for myself. It would just be a funny video to post. So keep your eye out for that on our socials at KBear 101 FM. Once again, I'm not sure how you say this guy's name. Brian Daboll, Brian, I'm going to go with Daboll, is officially out as head coach of the New York Giants after the team blew yet another double-digit lead. This time against the Bears. The Giants are now 2-8 and have lost 4 road games this season after leading by 10 or more points. Daboll won the Coach of the Year award in 2022, but it's a win-now league. He wasn't winning, so now he's out of a job. A couple weeks ago, Brian Kelly was fired as head coach of the LSU football team after coaching 3 full seasons and part of a fourth. Unfortunately for LSU, he was on a 10-year contract and is still owed $54 million on that contract. It does not seem he'll be walking away quietly. Reports are swirling that he has rejected 2 settlement offers, one for $25 million and another for $30 million. He lawyered up and is demanding the full $54 million that he's owed under the terms of his contract, to not coach football for the next 6 years. Wouldn't that be an easy life? Next summer's World Cup here in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico is going to set another record. Besides the bigger number of teams at 48 and the most expensive tickets, it's going to be the most expensive parking ever since most of the U.S. stadiums are built for football and they don't have easy public transportation access. FIFA has launched an official parking website where passes to park at all 16 venues will be on sale. And to start, They cost $75 a piece for group and round of 32 games, which is more expensive than tickets to most of the actual games for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. I would pay $75 for the World Cup to not happen because soccer sucks. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. I saw a funny meme yesterday that really had me looking. You know, Cybertrucks. They're everywhere. Every time you see someone post about a Cybertruck online, there's always that person in the comments just insulting the car. And it's not necessarily my thing. I don't ever plan on getting a Cybertruck. I don't really care for them. I think they look kind of unique compared to the bland cars that we have now, to be quite honest with you. I mean, if you ever watch an old movie, cars from back in the day, they were almost pieces of art. And now you see them, and it's the same car everywhere. No matter what brand, what model, it's always the same car. That is why the Cybertrucks stand out. And they're not necessarily the best cars either, don't get me wrong. But the meme said something along the lines of, you never really see a full family in a Cybertruck. You always see one dude alone driving a Cybertruck. And it's true. Look at those Cybertrucks that are going around East Idaho. Let me know if you see one with a family in it. I'm sure you won't. I'm sure you'll see that one guy in the driver's seat, and that's it. Should I ask this very personal question for the Peach Throne that I just saw pop up on Ask Reddit? I thought it was pretty funny. It says, what did your savings look like by age 30? Wait, I'll give you my answer. Here, wait, where's the button at? Where's the button at? I should have had this lined up, ready to go. Oh, where'd it go? Right here. This is what my savings looks like.
0.0.
Exactly that. Now, are people going to be bragging in this thread? Are they going to be going, well, I had like $300 to my name? The top answer, like $5,000. Well, technically, like negative $100,000 if you include student loans, but I had about $5,000 in my checking account. All right, let me pause the music again. Let me get my soundboard ready.
Oh, good for you.
All right, there it is. Let's see another one here. Around $2K in savings and $1K worth of premium dog food stockpiled in the closet. Not for me. I'm glad he put that clarification in there. At 30, I remember starting my months at minus 900 euros and asking for emergency handout from my government. Got around 60 euros in cash, no questions asked. At around 35, I leveled off with help from friends, and 5 years later, I'm able to repay the favor. What happened there to my brain? I was just like, Should I ask this question for the Peach Throne? Have that one guy that's bragging, oh yeah, back then I had a soft $2 million in my savings, and once again,
oh, good for you.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm an iPhone guy for life. All right, I will never go to the Android side. I'll never go over to the Google Pixel. Love the iPhone, but I can't really defend Apple and what decisions they're making as of late. You know, I just saw this announcement. I didn't see anything about this myself. I just saw this article pop up in r/offbeat, meaning that people are just making fun of this. Apple made a new product called the iPhone Pocket. And it's literally just this crossbody bag that looks like somebody knitted this whole thing together. And it comes in different colors. It's a crossbody little thing to hold your iPhone in. It'll be available at select Apple Store locations and on apple.com in a bunch of different countries starting Friday, November 14th. Yeah, it's 3D knitted. So it just looks like something your grandma could make you. It's $230. Why? Can I just have my case, my phone, and put it in my pocket and that's it? Do I really need to carry around this trendy bag? The only piece of tech that I've been wanting to spend a whole bunch of money on are those Ray-Ban Meta glasses. I figured those would be fun to wear at a concert. And I could call it the Peach POV or something like that. You could see what the view is like from my height. Because, yeah, everyone knows when I show up to a concert, they see me. They post those pictures and videos in the K-Bear group. Try to find Peaches. And it's, my head sticking above everybody else's. Literally at the show on Saturday, ran into Brian from Fame on Fire, the vocalist of Fame on Fire. And he was like, dude, I knew you were here. I saw you the entire set right there in the front. That's the second or third band now to say something like that. I'm laughing at this post that I saw on Reddit because it's a page that somebody shared. Well, here's the thing. It's a cool guide. It's from r/cool guides, a cool guide to 90s gang slang found at my in-laws' house is what it says. Dictionary of gang slang, August 22nd, 1996. And I was laughing because I just might have to include some of this for the Alt 101 imaging. You know Alt 101, the HD2 channel of K-Bear? Switch over to HD2, see what I'm talking about if you have an HD radio in your car. Or you can just simply download the app. I have a newer car, and I don't have an HD radio. I don't have Sirius XM. I'm starting to think I got ripped off. They just gave me like the base model of the Santa Fe. But I do remember when shopping for a new car at the time. I'm so glad I bought mine when I did. I really thought I was rushing it. Back in 2020, it was October of 2020, I was broken up with. And I immediately was so beyond mad, sad, mixture of both, that I was like, okay, I need to get out of Southern California. I was like, I need to get myself a new car. I need to get myself an actual career job. And I need to get my own place. And sure enough, ended up moving out here shortly after that. But before I started applying elsewhere, I bought myself the car that I have now. Little did I realize I would still be paying it off 5 years later. You know, it's coming to an end, hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. But it's still annoying having to take out that extra $350+ each month for the car payment, you know? It's going to depreciate in value. But I don't know why I all of a sudden segued into this whole thing when I was talking about Alt 101. But when I was shopping for a new car at the time, I remember one of the sales guys, one of the many reasons why I hate car salesmen is that he was trying to sell me on leather seats, trying to sell me on an all-glass sunroof, trying to sell me on a whole bunch of crap that I didn't need. Luckily, I just said no, ended up buying my car at a decent price. But going back to this whole dictionary of gang slang thing, I think it would be funny just to, you know, include some of this. I don't know if I can even repeat any of this. That's what's funny. I don't want to repeat any of this because what if I accidentally say something that makes someone upset, offended, or makes Jade, you know, go, ooh, he shouldn't have said that on the air, and then I'd get a talking to, which I absolutely hate. One of my mantras, the best interaction is no interaction. I don't know how I stumbled across this. I think I may have heard someone talking about it, and then I just did a quick Google search. I forgot exactly how I stumbled across this. From time to time, I'll talk about certain things with friends off the air, obviously. I'll have these normal conversations outside of the radio show, and I just go in my head like, that's a great topic to bring to the afternoon show. So I'll add it to a Google Doc. This was on one of them. This was on the Google Doc, 2026 World's Best Cities Report. And I feel like this is entirely subjective, really. There are a lot of cities I hate. I'm not going to name them on the air. But if you've listened to the show before, maybe I've hinted at them in the past. I don't know. But, well, I think I made it obvious with some of them. But number one on this list of the world's best cities is London. They call it the capital of capitals, claims the throne atop the world's best cities ranking in 2026 for an incredible 11th consecutive year. It secures the top position in 3 of the subcategories from worldsbestcities.com. The most of any city ranks 1, 2, and 3 in prosperity, lovability, livability indexes, respectively. Even their airport is ranked number 1. The city's airport, not surprisingly, ranks number 1 in their top 100 cities. I wonder if the airport over there is actually that good or if they're just biased. I don't know. I don't know. But I do know that this city absolutely sucks. I don't know if I would ever move there. Not London. I'm talking about number 2, New York City. I feel like there's too much hustle and bustle. I feel like it might be overwhelming. I feel like I don't want to live in a concrete jungle. I don't want to live in a place where everyone lives on top of each other. I don't want to live in a place where you still have an apartment. You don't have a house. I mean, you can move to other parts of New York and have a house, but they're talking about New York City in this case on this list, where everybody has an apartment. Those apartments could be as big as a house, but still, it's an apartment. They're way too overpriced. There's way too many people. You don't drive in New York. Maddie, you're outside the studio. Come on in. We're talking about the world's best cities. New York is number 2, and I was just talking a whole lot of trash on it.
Concrete jungle where dreams are made.
Would you ever live in New York?
No.
What would be your ideal city if you could live anywhere in the world?
Probably kind of like a nice little mountain town like Bozeman and Montana. Or just something chill. Like there's still stuff to do. It's still gorgeous, but it's not like a concrete jungle where dreams are made of.
Right. Yeah, where dreams are made of. Number 1 on this list for 2026 world's best cities is London.
Really?
Would you ever live there?
No.
I feel like I would feel personally out of place not having the cool accent.
I haven't heard a lot of good things about London from my friends who went and visited, but I also know that they were Idaho born and raised, and it was probably a little bit of a culture shock.
Right.
So I'm not one to hate.
Well, I do know somebody recently who recently just went to London, and I'm going to ask him at some point and ask him, like, really, would you ever move there? Because I feel like if they saw me, they would, in their funny little accent, they would say, "Oh, that's a fat American over there." Yeah. You need to put down the soda, bruv.
It's Tuesday, innit? Yeah.
You can do accents better than me. I can't do accents.
Me neither. It's okay.
But would you ever live in Paris? They have Paris number 3 here.
Like I said, I've heard some mixed opinions from my buddies who visited. Maybe if I was in like a city adjacent to Paris, or like if it was a decent drive away. But I've heard Paris smells bad.
Yes. Paris smells like Idaho Falls did back when the meat plant was having those issues.
I remember that.
Yeah, everyone was talking about that. Anyone else smell that smell?
What's that big boom?
Yeah, what's that big boom? I love that phrase. I might need to put that in the K-Bear imagery now that you bring it up.
What's that big boom?
It's K-Bear 101.
There you go, bro.
Well, there we go. That's a little part of the list. If people want to find out about this, if they want to read the full list, worldsbestcities.com, and just, use that. Yesterday, towards the end of the show, I meant to give out the voting poll results. There was that one listener that called in off the air and said, "Hey, you should just ask for to peach their own. Do you like Sleep Token?" And I think that listener does not like Sleep Token. So I took his vote into count. I also took Bennett's vote into count as well because he called me towards the end of the hour and said, "Add me to the no pile." So I guess the final tally for Do You Like Sleep Token, 62 yes, 37 no, including those 2 votes. There we go. Got that question out of the way. So now let's move on to today's To Peach Their Own. What is the best video game or best game overall you have ever played ever? I know for a fact Victor's answer, Red Dead Redemption 2, and mine has to be another Rockstar game. I loved this one when it first came out. For some reason, I was having a tough time trying to figure out what game to choose, but it kept just playing in my head, and I'm like, you know what? It's this game. It's Bully, another Rockstar game. Boy, do I love that game. I really do. I played it again recently, played the whole story. I think I 100% completed it. I got all the rubber bands. I was just having a good time. I might play it again on the PC. Is it available on Steam? Is Bully available for PC? It's $5 on Steam right now. Best believe I will be playing that when I get home. What is the best game you've ever played, ever? Let me know. 208-535-1015. Well, I heard Victor talk about this story, but I wanted to do it for today's What the Headline. A British man dealing with a very rare complication from eye surgery might have gotten every other guy interested in having that same operation. His name's Mark Bryan, 45-year-old teacher from London, had surgery in his right eye, experienced some unusual hallucinations for about 10 days afterward. It started immediately at home. Says he was cooking sausages when he suddenly saw what looked like a pair of boobs in the corner of his eye. And they didn't go away for the next week and a half. Mark says it was like having Pamela Anderson just pinned on his face. I'm not even kidding when I say this. This is not a made-up story. Doctors told him it was Charles Bonnet syndrome, a condition where the brain fills in missing visual information with hallucinations. These can be anything from patterns to full-blown people. He admits it was funny at first, but also terrifying. The hallucination popped up everywhere while brushing his teeth, watching TV, even at the local shop. Eventually, it faded as his eye healed. Mark says that makes me feel like a bit of a dirty dog. It's embarrassing, but you gotta laugh for a bit of it, right? Like, all I saw were just boobs everywhere. That would be a great to each their own question. If you had this type of condition, what would be the worst thing to see? You know what? Never mind. Most of those answers would not be radio friendly. They would have to be like on the, if there is ever one, an uncensored version of Peach's Pit Party, which would be downright fantastic. I will never understand the nudist lifestyle. I don't know about you. I'll just never understand it whatsoever. Victor, he apparently loves to go to nude resorts and things like that. It's always the people you never want to see naked that will always do their best to be naked outside of what is the norm, right? You go take a shower, you drop trowel, you go in the shower, right? I don't know why people want to do, I forgot about this. And now as I'm talking about this, I thought of something else. Maybe I should talk about that in a separate break. Maybe I should talk about all the nude things in one break. Denmark, a world leader in nudist culture. So, Victor, there you go. Move to Denmark. You can be with other nude people. Victor, I think, would stand out. Not necessarily stand out. Everybody in Denmark, I think, for the most part, is tall and blonde, right? That's the thing. Or am I just thinking of the Netherlands? Well, Michael Poulsen of Volby, he's from Denmark. He's not necessarily tall or blonde. So, yeah, maybe I'm thinking otherwise, but I was looking at something here about, I was looking at something a couple days ago about naked bowling, nude bowling. I could only imagine you're trying to bowl. You want to go bowling. You don't realize this event is happening, and there's a bunch of naked people bowling. You're like, what is going on? And they encourage you to take your clothes off to go bowl. I'm hoping they have their own private lanes. I'm hoping they're not actually just in the open for everybody to see. Or there are signs at least everywhere outside of the bowling alley saying, hey, nude bowling is taking place tonight. Enter at your own risk. I should have mentioned this during the Shot Clock Sports Update back when it was pretty popular, but it also deserves its own break. Jalen Brown, star of the Boston Celtics. There are a lot of dudes out there that refuse to go bald. And I've seen them from time to time. I was one of them. I started receiving those stupid comments like, why don't you just shave your head? Like, why don't you just mind your own business? And then I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should. And I feel so much better now that I did. It's been quite a long time since I've done that. But there are some dudes out there that they're still holding on to whatever they have left, and it's pretty bad looking, I always see those posts pop up from r/bald on Reddit. Should I let it go when there's no hair on the top of their head? It's like the Dr. Phil look. Like, yes, dude, get rid of it. But some dudes can pull off the horseshoe look. My dad is one of those guys. He's had it ever since I was born. He's had that signature horseshoe look, but he's also the guy to never not wear a hat in public. And my head is so big, I can't really fit into normal hats. And also, I just don't really care for wearing hats. When I do find one that fits, it kind of gives me a headache. So I just avoid wearing hats altogether. I'd much rather just be bald and prideful, Where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, Jalen Brown of the Boston Celtics. He, for some reason, is putting on this makeup on his head. Like he's putting this rub-on hair, this makeup that makes it look like he has hair. And so there have been some games recently where he's rubbed his head against another player's jersey, and sure enough, the hair makeup ends up on their jersey, and people are going, what on earth is that? Oh, it's Jalen Brown's fake hair. And people are just encouraging him to go bald, and he won't do it. There was a guy named Derek White, who's also on the Celtics, that had a horrible hairline. Like, it was bad, real bad. He was just holding on for dear life. People said to let it go. He's been bald ever since. Might as well embrace it. If your life is making you that way, shave your head. You'll feel and look a whole lot better. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, aka Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.